Good morning, third grade. Happy Thursday. We're close to the end of the week, and tomorrow is a catch-up day. So that means that if you're feeling a little stressed, like you can't get everything done, don't worry about it. I am going to give you just a little spelling test tomorrow, so study those words tonight, and then everything else is just going to be a catch-up day. So we're going to go ahead with our math lesson for today, and I want everyone to be on page 554. We did half of this yesterday, and we left off on number 10. I'm going to read it aloud. Jenna painted 1/8 of one side of a fence. Mark painted 1/6 of the other side of the same fence. Use greater than, equal, or less than to compare the parts that they painted. So I drew a picture of the parts that they painted. Jenna had painted 1 out of 8 parts of the fence. Mark is working by painting 6ths. So when we look at 1/8 and 1/6, we can tell that 1/8 is, and you're going to fill in, greater than, equal, or less than 1/6. So this is what you'll write on your line for your answer and fill in the circle. Okay, let's go on to number 11. Number 11, Bill used 1/3 cup of raisins and 2/3 cup of banana chips to make a snack. For 11A through 11D, select true or false for each comparison. So I'm going to go through this as we look at our 2 cups. I've drawn a cup for raisins, and it's in 3 equal parts, and a cup for banana chips in 3 equal parts. If you look at them, I've shaded 1/3, that's how much is filled with raisins, and 2/3 is how much is filled with banana chips. So while you study those pictures, I'm going to read, and you are going to fill in whether it is true or false. A, 1/3 is greater than 2/3. True or false? 11B, 2/3 is equal to 1/3. 11C, 1/3 is less than 2/3. Is that true or false? And 11D, 2/3 is greater than 1/3. True or false? Now we're going to go on with number 12. Jorge, Lynn, and Crosby meet at the playground. Jorge lives 5/6 of a mile from the playground. Lynn lives 4/6 of a mile from the playground. Crosby lives 7/8 of a mile from the playground. Who lives closer to the playground, Jorge or Lynn? So instead of explaining, I've drawn a picture that shows the distances that Jorge, Lynn, and Crosby go or live from the playground. So Jorge lives 5/6 of a mile from the playground. So I'm going to shade in 5 out of 6. Lynn lives 4/6 of a mile from the playground. So And Crosby lives 7/8 of a mile from the playground. So we're going to go all the way over to 7/8, shade it in. Okay, I'm going to make that look a little better. So now, in A, part A, it says, who lives closer, Jorge or Lynn? So we don't need to worry about Crosby right now. Jorge and Lynn, if you look at those fractions, they have the same denominator, a common denominator. Jorge lives 5/6 of a mile from the playground. Lynn lives 4/6 of a mile from the playground. So whoever has the shortest amount to go, they live closest. So who lives closest, or closer when we're comparing two? Who lives closer to the playground, Jorge or Lynn? Write the name of the person on the line for A. Then part B says, who lives closer to the playground, Jorge or Crosby? Now again, we're looking at the illustration and we don't need to worry about Lynn this time. And when we look, this is how far from the playground Jorge lives. This is how far from the playground Crosby lives. So again, it asks, who lives closer, Jorge or Crosby? Okay, we're going to go on now to the next page, 555. Ming needs 1/2 pint of red paint for an art project. He has 6 jars that have the following amounts of red paint in them. He wants to use only 1 jar of paint. Mark all of the jars of paints that Ming could use. So letter A says that he has a jar with 2/3 of a cup of a pint of paint in it, red paint. So 2/3. And then B says he's got a cup with 1/4 of red paint. C is 4/6 pint of red paint. D, 3/4. E, 3/8. And F, 2/6. So now what we need to answer is which jar Ming could use. So if it's 1/2 pint or more, halfway full or more than half full, we can use it. So could he use jar A, 2/3? If he could, color in circle A. How about B, 1/4? Would 1/4 be enough? If it is, color it in. If it's not, leave it blank. Look at C. Is that half or more? 4/6. If it is, shade it in. If it's not, leave it blank. Same thing with D, 3/4. If it's greater than half, color it in. If it's not, leave it. E is 3/8. Shade it in if that's enough. And F, 2/6. Okay. So just an extra clue there, you should have shaded 3 answers in. So take a close look at that and look at my drawings again if you need to. We're on to number 14. There are 12 people having lunch. Each person wants 1/3 of a sub sandwich. How many whole sub sandwiches are needed? Use the models to show your answer. So in your book, you have these models of sub sandwiches. You're going to cut each sub sandwich into 3 equal parts. So now you should have sub sandwiches that look like this. We have 12 people. Each person gets 1/3. So how many whole sub sandwiches are needed? Well, I'm going to start counting people now, because each person gets 1/3. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're going to keep counting until you get to 12, and then tell how many whole sub sandwiches. Okay. And next, number 15, it says Mavis mixed 2/4 cup of apple juice with 1/2 quart of cranberry juice. Compare the fractions and choose the symbol that makes the statement true.